Welcome back to another podcast from On Demand Advertising Solutions, Digital Marketing Update Podcast number 5. John Verlin here, and it's good to have you back. Kind of had a disturbing article today I read in Inc. magazine by Kevin Ryan, and I say it's disturbing because it's talking about artificial intelligence replacing jobs. And we're hearing about this. I talked a little bit about this last week with the millennial shift, how a lot of these things are shifting now with new technologies, things like this. But he refers to a Japanese insurance company that replaced 34 claims adjusters with an IBM Watson-type artificial intelligence to do the random task of claim adjustment and to get, for their customers, quick payments and resolution to their claims for customer service. And, the question is this going to be something that is going to be good for the end result for the customer? And the article focused on this and talked basically about, those type of jobs where there is random interaction with customers on a surface level. Yes, AI can replace those things, which is disturbing because obviously you're going to have people laid off. In banking, they get rid of, maybe ATMs and start doing the new ITM, inter-video conference type tellers, where you have a teller at one branch talking to people driving through at the other branch, and it's a machine basically doing things other than that one part of the teller interacting. So these are things that we're facing, and you may or may not have lost a job, had your hours cut back, looking for other ways to make income because you're not making as much, but the end result is you've started a business, or you've attempted to start a small business, or you freelanced, you're doing house cleaning, you're doing hair cutting out of your home, whatever that is. This is kind of where it may be headed a little bit. So today I wanted to talk about if, in fact, that sounds like you and you're starting up a new business, or you've had a business, a small business, you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place between traditional media you've used to promote yourself with the new digital, and it's still confusing, et cetera, and you're hearing about all these new things, and you're not sure how to do all this. Well, I want to kind of give you my take on a lot of this, just so you can have some takeaways. Most of the small businesses I worked with over the years were trying to find a mix of media to use that would be effective, cost-effective, and also produce results. And, of course, you had radio, magazine, newspaper, TV, cable, new digital platforms were sort of starting, and they would, ask me to kind of assist in maybe what is the best mix, what type of creative to use, things of that nature. But here are some takeaways I want to give you with not only traditional media, but the new digital media, of just somewhat common sense, but also something to know about. Before you splurge and plunge into spending money, obviously the best thing to do is do market research about the need for your product or service. I know that can be hard, and maybe a lot of people, maybe you've had people in the past you've done things for that they said, what, would you mind cutting my hair? I'll pay you. And okay, and you get you did good enough customers to do that. You can use gut instinct. You can do surveys, things of this nature. I queried members personally in like social media functions I was going to, kind of to see what kind of need there might be for somebody with a background like I had and working with digital marketing as well. And I kind of got my response from them based on indirect questions I asked them about their need for doing marketing. And I found that there were a lot of people, and these are people typically over 35 that either they may have had a website, didn't use social media, didn't really know how to even get onto Facebook hardly, things like that. So that kind of gave me an open of what I'm doing to maybe dovetail into helping small businesses do this. And of course, you can do a test once you determine what type of marketing you want to do, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, traditional media, whatever. Give a 3-month test. Find out before you kind of tiptoe in on spending money. Obviously, these platforms have trackable analytics. You can see what kind of results you're getting. Again, kind of determine what results you need. Don't be misled by the thousands of downloads, the thousands of this and that you may read about online as far as success other people have had. Determine your own success, what you really need to be successful. Maybe it's just going to a trade show twice a year, having a booth, and you'll create enough sales and buzz about your brand and your product or service that you'll be able to get enough business to justify doing it. Remember, marketing is a combination of testing, luck, art, science, being at the right place at the right time. Ideally, you get referrals, and that's the best way to do it, testimonials, things like that. And, like I say, doing this, projecting what kind of results you need up front is really important to think through all this. A lot of small businesses, believe it or not, particularly if you're sort of being squeezed out of a job and you're kind of running by the seat of your pants, you don't really think about this, but this is important to kind of judge this. And this really should be a part of a business plan because, again, you only need a certain amount of results to be profitable. How many sales do you need each month? That kind of thing. A lot of people are starting micro businesses. They only maybe need 3 clients a month or 1 client a month to justify doing what you're doing. In addition, and I mentioned this earlier, consider networking. Join a chamber. I do that. Think about I have a logo on a shirt I got that I wear as part of my uniform, so to speak. It engages people asking me about my business because they see that logo on my shirt when I'm at chamber coffees, things like that. I then can give them my business card, which has the pain bullets on it of what a lot of my small business clients are looking for, and that engages a conversation. Things like that. Maybe you have a little mini brochure you hand out at chamber events, things like that. Maybe you join a Rotary Club, a sales club. Keep the messaging consistent on all these different items and platforms because when they get that, they may go to your website. If they see it looks good, they're going to form that perception that I talk about in other podcasts, which is really important because that's what this is all about, is getting that impact and image with your local prospects that you meet. And then, of course, there's final thing is public relations. Send a quarterly press release out to the local media. Put it on your blog, link it, send it out. Create a hook or an angle. Maybe it's a new thing you did, a new customer you got, a new event you're doing. Whatever, media is always looking for new stories, a filler, whatever, and take advantage of that because that, again, is more content for your blog, but you can also send that out to your customers, the media, and you might get it picked up in a story somewhere, or at least a mention somewhere. Any of this exposure, and it's free, and obviously that's why a lot of personalities say outrageous things. They know they're going to get extended exposure, good or bad, constantly. The Kim Kardashian is now coming out to go to her social media event, and she gets all these people mentioning her on national platforms and things like that. So you're regurgitating messaging, basically, or the media is. And that's a way to get free publicity, basically. And, of course, for any marketing to succeed, you need to have a strategy. And we have a 3-part strategy: customer feedback, message development, and message implementation that's on my website that we like to do for our customers and clients to be able to put together a program to make sense for you that's cost-effective. Any questions you have for me, jverlin1@yahoo.com. Visit ondemandadvertisingsolutions.com, and we'll be happy to answer them. We'll see you next week and talk more about digital content marketing.